Hi, I'm Marty DiBergi. 40 years ago, I was honored to direct a film called This Is Spinal Tap.
I want to say on camera, just so you hear it, This Is Spinal Tap, your original film with the guys, is one of my all-time favorite films.
Well, thank you.
And I love it so much, and I just want to thank you for your work.
Well, that's very kind of you. That's very nice of you to say. No, the guys didn't like it so much at the beginning. They thought it was a hatchet job, and they said, "Oh, I didn't show them in a good light, because I only showed the bad parts, like when they couldn't find the stage." No, the reality is they found the stage 60 to 70% of the time, but I happened to show the one. But I try to show the good and the bad. I thought I did a complete picture of them, and I did it with love.
Well, my question has always been, what was it like in the editing room on that film with the guys? Because they just told me how, not to, disparage you, but they were very upset about the way they were portrayed, and you just touched on it. So I am curious, was there any pushback on any scene that you thought, maybe I'm being too hard, or is it but this really happened, so it's sort of fair game?
Yes, I didn't make this happen. I'm just documenting it. And I have the final, I don't mess with their music. Their music is their music, and they don't mess with the film. So if they can't find the stage, or if a little Stonehenge comes down and it's not the right, that's not my fault. I didn't do that. I'm just there. I'm a fly on the wall, and I'm just documenting what I see.
So there's a lot of people out there, like younger fans or younger people, who have actually never heard Spinal Tap's music. And I'm so curious, because you know everything about them. What album do you think they should start with if they've never heard the band?
Well, first of all, Smell the Glove and the first album, it's like a primer. You have to listen to that one. But there's an album that has Sticking Up the Great Outdoors, which is great. It has Clam Caravan. The new album has some new stuff in it, and I think they should listen to that. It's there's a picture on it in the front of it. It looks a lot like Henry Diltz. I don't know if you saw, but in Crosby, Stills and Nash had a very iconic picture where they had the three guys sitting on a couch in front of a house and stuff. And this is the three of them sitting on a couch. So that's an album you should listen to, because that album has some new stuff in it that they've never done. Plus it has Elton John singing a couple of songs, Paul McCartney singing a song, and Garth Brooks and Trisha Yearwood singing songs. So it's got a lot. It's got oldies, Spinal Tap, and new stuff too.
So what I'm always curious about is, for example, Paul McCartney
Yeah.
Is in your new film performing with Spinal Tap. How early on did you know Paul would come in? And how were you placing the cameras? Do you know what I mean? And how much was it a surprise to you?
It's all a surprise. We don't know he's going to come. I had no idea. He just shows up. And the reason he shows up is he likes this band. And he showed up. They told me that he showed up one time when they were rehearsing for a tour back, many years ago. He was rehearsing down the hall, and he showed up there. So he's a fan of this band, and I had no idea. I don't know he's going to show up. I did know Elton John was going to show up, because Elton John was slated to be in the show. So I knew he was going to be there, but I had no idea Paul McCartney was going to come.
I think one of the things that I've always wondered is, what are the guys like when they're off stage, and because one of the things about Spinal Tap, and you know this, is that they go through these spells of hating each other or fighting, and then all of a sudden they're getting along. What is it like with the guys when they are getting along and they're off camera and they're just hanging out? What is it like to be with them?
It's a pleasure. And I think what it is when they're playing music, either rehearsing or in the show, that's when they get along. They love to play with each other. When they're not playing, then real life kind of creeps in. And the tensions between Nigel and David that started, they love each other like brothers, and they met each other when they were very little, but there's always tensions with good friends, and those things seep in when they're not playing. And I have to capture that as well. Now, for a filmmaker, the more tension, the better. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't wish bad feelings between people ever. But for a film, I'm hoping that they kill each other.
So one of the things that your new film does is you catch up with a lot of people from your original one.
Right.
And so I'm wondering how much, did you have, in the editing process, how did you decide how much you wanted to spend with each of these people? You know what I mean? Did you have a much longer cut? I'm always fascinated by the edit.
Well, it's interesting that you bring that up, because I loved finding Artie Fufkin and where he was in his life. I mean, the man had left the music industry. He now was selling these dancing inflatable balloons that you see in the front of used car lots and restaurants. And that was fascinating to me. And I could have made a documentary just about that. So I found out about his life and his relationship to these balloons and everything. I can't put it all in there because it's not about him.
Sure.
It's about Spinal Tap. Same thing with Bobby Fleckman. When I discovered that she was now not a publicist anymore, she was a manager of influencers. She had become a Buddhist. Again, I could have spent a whole, film on her, but it's about Spinal Tap. So sometimes you have to kill your darlings.
Sure. Did you actually, I'm so serious about the edit. Did you actually, though, movie's like an hour and a half.
I'm serious about the edit.
Totally.
Yeah.
The movie's about an hour and a half. Did you have any sort of storylines or anything that came close to being in it? How was it in the edit for you on this one as compared to the first one?
I learned a little bit more, the second one, because you don't want to spend a lot of time throwing things out. You want to keep the things that you love. And so I had to throw some things out, but, I think we got the best of it. The first one is 83 minutes. This one is 83 minutes. That seems to be the sweet spot for Spinal Tap. So there you go.
So something I wanted to ask you, and I'm not sure if you've noticed this. I brought it up with Nigel, actually, next door. I'm fascinated by history and England history. And I was reading a book recently, and I noticed there was a picture, and Nigel looks very similar to someone from history named Count Rugen. I'm not sure if you're familiar with this, and if you've ever noticed the similarities.
You're talking about this film, The Princess Bride.
Actually, I think it's something from, maybe did they base that on Count Rugen's life?
Well, the only Count Rugen I know was a character in this movie called The Princess Bride. And there's definitely a similarity there. I mean, Nigel, as far as I know, he's not an actor. I mean, he's a great musician. So I don't know who that guy was.
100%. Sir, I really want to thank you for all of your work and for entertaining me for so long.
Well, thank you very much. It was nice to talk to you.